And here we go. Thanks everybody for joining us for another episode of Modern Agent Blueprint. And back again by popular demand is our special guest, April. And I'm going to have Nicole go ahead and introduce her for us. We already all know her and love her. So
yes, so
take
I'm
her
going
away.
to move my computer up a little bit so we have a more flattering angle. Anyway, well, welcome again to Modern Agent Blueprint. We have one of our favorite guests. We've had April on probably three or four times now, and every time it's really amazing. So when I asked her if she wanted to come on again, she was like, oh, absolutely. Like, no hesitation. I'm like, what do you want to talk about? And she's like, how I'm surviving a $10 million month on my own solo. And I was like, that sounds perfect. So to give you a little background, I'm sure she'll go into this a little bit more, but she had a buyer's agent for several years who left to go out on their own, and her assistant moved away all in the same week. So she is going to kind of talk to us about how she handled that and how she is handling that and what we need to do to hopefully not get into that situation. So I'm going to hand it over to you, April, and you can have at it.
All right. Well, this is going to be fast and furious. Like you think I talk fast before, if y'all see me, you're going to be drinking from a water hose right now because I told them I have to be done at 11:30 today. So long story short, here we go. Perfectly what Nicole said. What I want today to be about, I don't know how to ask this question. Maybe Nicole and Lee can answer, real quick for me, is, are the majority of you guys solo agents already, or do you have teams? Do y'all know the answer?
We could put it in the chat, or if anybody, probably the chat would probably be best. I am a single agent, but hope to have some sort of team eventually. So
all right, well, I'm going to take it from the direction, since we're just short on time. I'll take it from the direction as you're a solo agent and you're thinking, what's next? What does it look like? Do I want to have a team? And I will tell you absolutely from day one, if you're a real estate agent, you are a team. You have a team of people, whether you are a solo agent, but you have a team. So everything, and even before I had a team, I would always say things like, we do this, we do that, my lender, because I do have a team. I have a lender, I have an insurance guy, I have a title company, and I've been using the same ones for 10 years, you guys. I'm very loyal and I love them until that's it. Nobody can come into that space. So you do have a team. My team and I will do this for you. My team and I will do that. You have a whole brokerage. So you should already be in that mindset that you have a team first and foremost. The second thing is if you're doing your paperwork, I don't care if you do 1 transactions or 300 transactions, you should have a transaction coordinator. You do not make money by pushing effing paper. So go get a transaction coordinator today. Okay. If you're brand new, you should learn how to do it. Obviously, you need to know how to do it, and you should be setting those systems in place. If you don't have any systems and you're mimicking what that TC is doing, every single email that you get from a virtual TC and you have no idea what to do or where to start, you should be writing down step 1, they did this, step 2. If they have a checklist that they share with you, I've used theirs, right? I don't copy. Here's the thing about me. Everybody in this industry is I don't want to share my secret. There is no effing secret. I can share everything that I know, and no one is going to do it half as good as I do. And I don't give a shit. I will tell you that from day one. So I will share anything that I have with you, because I know that 90% of the people aren't going to do it as good as I can. And then guess what? They don't even know my mother effing friends. So I don't care. We don't hang out the same place. Use my shit, right? Don't be stingy with your stuff. If you have the systems, share them. If you need them, ask, right? So anyway, or if not, if you don't want to ask, take what the TC is doing if you're using a virtual and start creating your checklist. The second thing that I tell people to do that has saved my life in this industry is I have a little black book. It's actually this one right here is this size. And anytime, and start out smaller than that, anytime that a client or someone, a lead or somebody would ask me a question, I wrote that in my book on page 1. So every question I had a just separate page, because I know that if they're asking me that question, someone else is going to ask me that question. Now, 10 years later, it turns into, okay, Susan, I will get that to you in 2 days per my calendar. It's coming. I just need you to calm down, right? So they're going to be asking for stuff that it's coming, and you can't get away from those, right? But if it's something that you're like, oh crap, I never thought of that. That's a great idea. Let me figure out where to put that in my system. I immediately go into my Asana. I use Asana for my checklist, and I can share my screen, right? Even though I'm not a host. Okay, I'm going to do that real quick to show you what I do.
Let me give you a host here. Hang on.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm just going to give you guys a quick snapshot of what I do with Asana. Let me close this real quick and open Asana, because I don't know how to do it with that on there. Okay, go back to this, share my screen, and Asana. Share. Okay, so this is Asana. What I do is I have a template for every single, from listing appointment all the way until the listing is closed. And what I will do is I will copy this into a file. So for example, that's the template. The last one that I'm working on right now is this one. So Elder Grove is the next one to schedule to close. So it's every single thing that I do, it goes in my checklist. No line on here will have two actions on the line. I don't care how tedious or how, if there's 10,000 things to check off here, there will never be two things on the same list. We're in real estate, we're parents, we're on the go, we have other obligations. So if it says do this and do that, you might do this, the phone rings, you check an email, somebody's at the door, and you don't do that, right? So they have to be separate. Every single thing on there is separate. Another thing that you want to start doing and thinking about now, if you're a solo agent that you want to build a team, or you don't even know, but you need to start doing this because somebody can step in for you and help you out at any given time. One of those things that you need to do is be able to click on the action item. And let me find one that actually has, it'll say see description, see details is how we know to look over here and see what's over here. Okay. So this is an action item that I need somebody to know. For example, if I said, when we send a seller's net sheet, it says remove the automatic verbiage. We have our MLS, it's amazing. And we use a seller's net sheet from HAR. And so, but I don't like the verbiage on there. The verbiage is like, it's the standard default verbiage. I want them to know like that's coming from me. Hey, here's the seller's net sheet that I promised you at the listing appointment. Just remember these, these numbers are not what the title company could give us. I'll give you those numbers once we go under contract, right? I'll always put that disclosure in there. But that lets somebody know when you send that seller's net sheet, make sure you remove that default, okay? Because that's what we want to do. This is just an estimate, and all they have to do really is like right here, copy and paste that and put it into the MLS or into that seller's net sheet. See details right here, so get a cost worksheet. This is something that we do once we go live on a listing or we're fixing to have a listing. I have my preferred lender create cost worksheets for that listing. And so that all the buyers that are shopping around at open houses, I have cost worksheets for them. And that way they know like, this is what it looks like at their current interest rate. This is what you can do at a 5, 10, 20%. So I already have a cost worksheet for them, right? And so that's just one thing that we do for marketing for our listings right off the bat. So here's that information. All they got to do is copy and paste this email and put it into Gmail and send it. Okay. Or that way, if somebody's new and I'm training them and they don't know what I'm asking them to do, I'm like, hey, go get those cost worksheets from Kim. They will know exactly what to do. All right. If there's a date or a deadline on it, it'll say add to calendar so that we know to add those dates in here. Okay. This one is this one is so far behind actually, so it's not close. Complete in the details. So what we do here is so that a whole team, like the entire team, whether it's a listing manager, a transaction coordinator, whomever needs this information can get this right here. So every single person, like we fill this out so that anybody on the team can see this information. Okay. So this is Asana. I'm not going to go through it that much, but we use this as a checklist. And these are my stages. If you do want the stages, I do use these. It's listing appointment signed. Listing appointment scheduled. So the minute that I get off the phone and I schedule the listing appointment, the first thing that I do is, it just depends on the information that I have from that lead. If I have their email address or if I have their phone number, what I always do is in my conversation is like, here's what I need you to do next. I don't do that shit for them. I do that for me because I talk fast. I know my personality and I do not ever want to overpromise and underdeliver. So basically when I end up a call, I say, I don't care who it is, whether it's my title company, a client, a friend, I'm like, here's what's going to happen next. And my brain stops and processes everything that I told them that I was going to do. Because if I don't say, here's what happens next, and don't list something that I told them, guess what? They're going to tell me about it, right? They're going to say, hey, you said you were going to do this. Yep, absolutely. And I write that shit down, right? And so that's why you end those conversations with that. But what I say to them is like, hey, what I want you to do is do me a favor, go ahead and send me, let's just say I have their phone number, go ahead and text me your email address so that I have it written correctly, because they'll start giving it to you. And you know how they give those gosh dang email addresses. This is 123 Main Street, 675 stepdaughter's cousin. I'm like, what? Text that to me, please. Like, just text it to me. Okay. So always have spell their full names and their email addresses in the text message. Now you have all their contact information. And then what I do is I can forward that over to my assistant when she says, what's their information? Screenshot it, send it over to somebody else. Okay. So always get that in a text message. So, but don't look stupid and ask for an email address when they reached out to you by email. Okay. You got to be prepared about these things. You got to know what's going on before you ask for things. Okay. And I always, because sometimes I forget, like I might just have a sticky note that says, call Brian about this property. And I get quite a bit of leads. I might say, hey, Brian, I'm not sure. I have a sticky note with your name to call you on this. Do I have your email address by chance? Did you reach out to me? And there's plenty like that. They don't care. But don't come right out and say, I need your email address. They're going to be like, what a dumbass. I emailed you. Right. So play it off like that if you really do need it. Okay. Just be aware of the things that you're saying, because I promise you these leads are picking up on that. All right. So as soon as I get a lead and I put this in my calendar, the first thing that I do is I invite my transaction coordinator and my listing manager on that email. Like even to this day that I don't even have one answering that email, I'm still adding them, because anybody that gets hired in between now and maybe the middle of this contract, they're going to need to step into this transaction and be able to know what's been sent out and what hasn't. So I'm still emailing them like somebody is checking that email. Okay. So anyway, they're invited. So now they know. So as soon as they get this email, my transaction coordinator knows, okay, great. April has a listing. Here's what's happened, an appointment. Here's what I'm supposed to do. She's going to add the lead to my database, to my CRM. She's going to ask where this person came from. This whole entire checklist starts. Okay. I'm not going to go through it with you today. If you want it, let me know. I'll figure out a way to get it to you. And then, so anyway, we just start to complete the listing agreement. One of the things that we says, ask April if you're ready for the listing agreement signed. I do not take listing agreements to the listings. I'm that person. You may, like Tom Berry and all them, like those hardcore salespeople with the scripts, like they're going to bring their listing agreements to the appointment, and I'm not. So it's just one of the things I'm not going to do. What I always do before I leave there on my listing appointment is I do promise to send them a seller's net sheet. I say, hey, what I'm going to do for you is make sure when I get back, because that's my value to them. As soon as I get back, I want to make sure that you have something that you remember me for, or some sort of promise from me. And that's always going to be a seller's net sheet. So on my form that I take to every listing appointment, I take a green folder. So if you've seen me on social media say it's green folder day, it's because I have a listing. All my listings are green folders. And what I do is I have the checklist, our transaction coordinator checklist in there. And then I have the information that I'm getting from the sellers about how old the AC, how old the roof is, what, upgrades they've made, just conversation things that I've had. Okay. And then one of the last things is what their payoff is. Okay. So that when I give this to my transaction coordinator or my listing manager, the first thing they do is they go back and say, I need the green folder. They get it from me and they do that seller's net sheet. And everything that I promise those clients, like they know what comes from me. There are certain things like a seller's net sheet, so that better have my name on it. And, or if the transaction coordinator or listing manager sends something, you guys keep this in mind when you're building a team. April wanted me to reach out to you. They better start every damn conversation like that. I don't care. April asked me to email you. I did during training 6 months ago. But every time they're talking, they're putting my name in there. They're not just being handed off to these assistants like they don't, like I'm not supposed to be doing anything with them, right? But they keep it very clear. I set those standards at my listing appointment. I say, hey, you do not want to hand me a key to this house, and you don't want to ask me to keep up with no paperwork. Like you just don't. Like that's not my strength. I'm not here for that, but I will negotiate the shit out of your house and I will sell it for as much as I possibly can. But don't hand me no papers. Don't hand me no key. Okay, that's why I have a team. However, if anything that comes up throughout this transaction that is negotiable, that has anything to do with money or something that you are very passionate about that you don't agree with, is something my assistant said, we're going to talk for sure. Okay. But just know that if it's about paperwork, Lord Jesus, please do not call me and ask me about no paperwork. Okay. Please. Because I don't know the answer to it. So that's what I try to explain to them. So as soon as I leave here, Mr. Seller, what's going to happen is my transaction coordinator, my listing manager is going to reach out to you and help you get this. We're going to get this house on the market together. Okay. The listing manager is X, Y, and Z. If you have that one, that's her name, like Sarah. And she's going to be the one that's responsible for helping us get the house on the market. Okay. Pictures, the listing on the MLS, all those cute things that you see on the internet. All right. That's her job. All right. The second person that you're going to hear from shortly after I get back to the office is Taylor. And Taylor is my transaction coordinator. Taylor is my saving grace with paperwork. She's the one that's going to fill out the paperwork. I approve it for her to send to you, but that's who it is. Okay. Those are the two main points of contact that you'll hear from. If it's not for me. All right. But that's everything else that's coming from me. So set those standards up front, but make sure your team understands like, hey, you're a vital part of this team and you're extremely important, but without me, there ain't no business, bro. Like you better make sure my name is in some of that conversation stuff. Like I don't need it to be like, hey, I need your seller's disclosure notice, April said. I don't need all that, but you know what I'm saying? If it's important, they better have my name written on that somewhere. Okay. Just to throw some things out there. Or if it's something that, you know, they've asked that they don't know the answer to, it's always let me get back to April and I'll get back to you. Or let me ask April and I'll get back to you. It's never just let me get back to you. I'll find out. Like they put my name on it. Okay. I am the brand of that. All right. So real quick. So one of the things that just happened that I personally have been coached to do and have not done a good job of it is building a bench. And I'm telling you right now, this will never happen again. It will absolutely never happen again. First and foremost, I will have a virtual person that I can reach out instantly and take over my transaction work. Failure on my part because I got so busy. When it says I have $10 million a month, you guys, I closed 5.5 and I wrote 4.5. So July is going to be crazy. So everybody's, you know, even my coach, you know, we're coaching through this, but I hear people all the time when I say I'm solo right now. They're like, I'm going to be play devil's advocate and you need to pause and hire somebody. Don't you think that I would love to? Don't you think that I would love to hire an assistant right now? Like, are you, I mean, y'all, if I pulled up my calendar right now, this is my calendar and 90% of this is my kids' doctor's appointments and shit right now in the summer on top of real estate, right? Listing appointment pictures. I'm showing the Hesters. I showed the Hesters. I mean, I got to get some tires on, you know, what, when do you want me to do these things, folks? Like, I would love to, right? So here's the thing, is building a bench is going to be so crucial moving forward. And it just means first of all, I have the virtual person set up where I can instantly know that's the problem is I don't know anyone's, I've never used one. I've always liked my TC to be personal for my team because I do enough business that they can have a stable job and get enough paid off my transactions. If you're just, you know, doing like 20 or 35, you know, transactions, go get a virtual person. They still do a great job. Just relay that, hey, this is my person. She does this. But I am big on customer service, and I've never been a fan of having a virtual transaction coordinator because my business is very personable. Everything that I get is relationship based, and I take extreme importance in that. Okay. So that's why I also have my transaction coordinator if we're slow or like in the season where they're just starting, or I don't have business I would love to, they can also be a listing manager. And that way, when they get at capacity, so I'm paying them $375 per transaction, but I'm also paying them $150 per listing to get the house on the market. Okay, so they're doing okay, right? But when they get to capacity, because a lot of times the TCs that I've had in the past are part-time and they don't want any more than 20 hours, and that's fine. They can do this paperwork in 20 hours a week and still sell 100 houses. It ain't that hard to do, okay? But they're getting paid well to do that. Like it's a lucrative job, seriously. But being a listing manager too, not so much. So, but that person, that TC that knows how to do it, guess what they're doing? They're hiring their replacement. It ain't me. You're the one that's going to go out and find this listing manager or another TC that we can start training that just wants to pick up a few hours here and there. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Always build a bench and first start with the virtual team. Go ahead and use one time, find so that you get comfortable with them so that if anything pops off or you need them because somebody on your team isn't there to do it and they're on vacation or whatever, you know how to jump in with them and you don't have any time wasted. Okay, so go ahead and start finding a virtual one, just even for a backup if you already have a TC. If you do not have a TC, I'm telling you by the end of the day, get a TC. Like stop with the madness. We're not doing paperwork no more. Okay, here's another thing to that. As my transaction coordinator costs me $0. I write in every single contract that my clients are paying me a transaction fee of $375. So they are completely free for me. I've never had anyone bat an eye. I charge 6% and a transaction fee, people. So there's no reason why you can't do that. Even my buyers agents, they write it in their buyers contracts and the buyers are paying, hey, I'm completely free for you. It doesn't cost me anything to list out. You can't say just the free for anymore. It's like trick laws. The seller is paying your commission. The only thing that you're paying us at the end of this transaction is a $375 transaction fee, but everything else the seller pays. We're like, all right, they have no idea. They don't care, whatever. Okay. And it's in the contract. So I don't even pay for a TC. All right. So you have no excuse is what I'm telling you. Can't afford it. That's no excuse.
You have to like specify the thing. It keeps saying like.
One more time.
Somebody came off mute. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Although I had a question for me. So that's that part of it. The second part is buyer's agents. here's the thing. I knew from the beginning of real estate, I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and going back to look at some furniture because you picked out furniture and you want to go see if it fits in the house. That ain't my shit. Like, I ain't got time for it. You want to show your mom your house? I ain't the person. Like, it ain't me. I am not that empathetic. Like, let's go. Sure, baby, get in the car. I'll meet you back over there. No, you saw the house. We close in 30 days. Like, what do you need? Like, what do you need? We were just there for the inspection. Like, that's my personality, right? I'm a listing agent. I know my strengths. I'm all business, and that's what I love to do. Okay. So I knew going into real estate, like, I can do it. And here's what's been fun about it is I've posted a couple of things. It's like, I don't waste no time. I can get in here and pick out my buyer's house, and I will tell them this is the house they're buying. Like, this is the one. Like, I can tell them, like, I've seen 100 houses. I promise you, this is your house. Like, you don't understand what I'm saying. I can have that conversation with them and they trust me. But if you get somebody on your team that's too empathetic and too soft, that's not that they are going to love on your people. Like, Stacey was a great balance, and I'm going to miss her, and it's going to be hard to replace her. She was a good balance. My clients loved her. She was very empathetic, passionate, soft, and sweet with them. But at the same time, she could help them make decisions that they didn't know how to make, right? So, but when I jumped back into this, I knew, like, my very first time out, I took a $250,000 buyer. We saw 3 houses. I was like, it ain't gonna get no better than this, bro. It ain't gonna get no better. I don't know what to tell you. Not in 60 days. So buy the house, right? So, and just like those things, like, you just know, you're the expert, right? Like, you've seen these houses, you know. And like, one of the things I do too is I pull that information up. I go into that buyer's call, like with that buyer showing, and I have it. I say, hey, here's your price range. And here's the amount of houses that have gone on the market in the last 6 months. And like, this is how many you would have moving forward to look at in the next 6 months. 10, baby doll, 10 at 250, right? So make sure that you have those numbers. Like, you're helping your buyers understand what's going on. All right, so build a bench. How you build a bench is build relationships with people. You guys, I am so over shitty agents on the other side of the deal right now. I can't even tell you. Like, we're on the same team, people. We're on the same freaking team. You're not negotiating with me. You look stupid arguing with me. Go argue with your seller, your buyer. We're on the same team getting to the closing table. So I've tried my best. Like, when I find a good agent that responds quickly, that I can tell is a little bit newer, maybe they forgot something or they didn't check the right box, like, it's instant opportunity for me to build a conversation with them and say, hey, this is how we kind of do things here. Like, I don't know if you knew this, or like, I'd love to help you with this. Let me know if you need things. So I'm building relationships with them. I'm also started like moving forward as soon as I can. I'm gonna teach them classes here locally. I do it online all the time, right? Literally, somebody just joined Keller Williams and I still don't even know who it is. But she was like, I love you on social media. Like, join my own office in Pearland. And I'm like, I didn't even reply back. And like, well, who is it? I'm so busy. But those people are watching you, right? And so how you respond to them and how you treat them, you never know who's going to turn around and want to work with you one day, okay? So that you can have that conversation with them. And it's not, and even if you're like in the situation of recruiting and that's where you're at right now in your business, yeah, why not build some relationships with people, right? But what I see too much of is it's like instantaneously like, hey, we want to help you grow your business. No, you don't want to help me. You want me to help you grow your business, right? So you've got to come from some value. Make sure that you're genuine with your conversations. But that's how you build a buyer's agent, thing there. Okay. Okay. So if it was not for this checklist, you guys, I wouldn't, like, here's the thing. I can wing a transaction better than anyone else. I've been doing it 10 years. We all can, right? But I promise you, I've been giving shitty service when I try to do this. So if you're not time blocking and scheduling your stuff and sitting down and going through your checklist every single day, you cannot wing this business. You're going to give crappy service. You guys, schedule it in and do it the right way. Follow the checklist. Don't wing it. I hear some of my clients, I tell them all the time, it's like, hey, I just told you about something that's supposed to happen a week from now. And because I just do this so much, but I love my checklist so much. I love it. And I'm going to probably send you a couple of emails that I've already talked to you about just because it's habit and second nature for me. So if you get an email from me that says something that we've already talked about, please just like make sure you've done it first and foremost, but just ignore it. I just want to make sure at the end of the night or in the day or first thing in the morning that I am checking everything off my checklist. Like, I have those genuine conversations with my clients right now. They know, like, I don't have a team and I'm running ragged. I'm running on fumes. So I tell them, because most of my clients know me. Like, most of my people are referrals or whatever. And I'm just upfront about it. Like, the buyer that I took, I'm funny. I'm like, bro, I haven't showed a buyer in 5 years. So lockbox wasn't working, key update, don't know how to open it. Like, what am I like? Where's my showing instructions? But the thing is, had I had an assistant, you guys, it says like if I was working with a buyer, my assistant would schedule those properties. And then I have a form that it has all 5 of the properties. I don't ever show more than 5. It has a list of all the properties on it. It says, is it a super? Is it a combo? Is there alarm? Is there pets? It's all on a piece of paper, so I don't have to look at my mother freaking phone and fumble around. And then it also has a part where it says feedback. So as I'm in the house, I'm writing some quick notes for feedback, and then I can hand that off to my assistant. She puts the feedback in, like I don't, right? So I get that information, and that way you're not looking at your phone. The client's not waiting on you to find out where's the super. When you walk up to the front door, I can't tell you how many times I did this yesterday on 4 houses. Walk up to the gosh dang house, and like, there's no super on the front door. I'm like, let me get my phone out, find the email. What address? Looking for a street. What number am I at? Like, I did those things, and it's okay, but that you cannot sustain that, right? So you've got to get organized. You've got to stop and say, this is what I'm supposed to do. Show up as a professional. Do not let them see you sweat. Make conversation about it. My clients, I know when to have conversations, about how chaotic my life is right now versus when I'm not supposed to. I need to come up and show up as a professional. But luckily for me and my business, where I'm at 10 years later, I'm showing some of the most dearest friends of mine and closest clients that we just love. We're family. So I get to be, myself, which is nice, tennis shoes and blue jeans and sweating as I'm rolling up because I'm coming in on 2 bills, right? So that's fun and I enjoy it. But I'm telling you right now, build your systems out, build your checklist, go back through every single transaction, look at your past clients, write down any questions that they've emailed you and start using your questions as information to build out your systems. Okay, that's it. It's 11:30. John, questions for me? Woo. That was a lot, I know. And really all I hope to help you guys with is a pep talk. First of all, is get an assistant, stop doing your paperwork. You can do this. And if you have a team and you're like, this shit is hard, I can't tell you how many people DM me. I'm like, it ain't easy. That's why not everybody is doing it as a team, but there's only so much that we can do and give good service. And you have to ask yourself what the cost of I need to pay somebody to do it versus the time that I get back. Is it worth it for you? And I'm going to tell you, since I've been working 80 to 100 hours a week for the last 6 to 8 weeks, it is absolutely worth I would listen if I could have my old assistant or some better because she's not with me, my assistant back. I'm telling you, my next CEO, my director of operations will make 6 figures in my business. Hands down, hands down. Because what they're going to be able to do and take off my plate because of the systems and the models that I've set in place, I will not answer my phone after 5 p.m. I will not show properties after 5 p.m. I will not work on the weekends. Like, I've set my business up that way. Like, I list on Thursdays, showings start on Fridays. My buyer's agents have open houses. I've been having open houses on Saturday and Sunday, highest and best by Sunday at 6 p.m. Lenders called Monday morning. We talked to the sellers at 10 a.m. on Monday. Decision made by 6 p.m. if we can. Like, that's it. So nobody needs me until Monday. Like, there's not one question that my assistants cannot answer over the weekend on a listing. And they're like, well, I get it all the time. How come we can't talk to April? She's not working and servicing her sellers. You're not servicing your buyers by asking stupid ass questions when I've already put that information on the MLS. You're wasting your buyer's time asking me if there's multiple offers on this property when you know good and well this is a $300,000 listing in Pearland. You don't need me to tell you that. Well, how old is the AC? Does it matter right now? Doesn't matter, right? So you're not servicing your buyer. It's not me, okay? So don't be afraid to take the time, people. It's a business. You got to set boundaries too, okay?
Thank you so much, April. Oh, Jen, are you saying something? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just asking. So on the weekends when the buyer's agents are blowing up your phone for a listing or your clients are, who takes those? Do you just train your people that you'll be speaking to my transaction coordinator?
Yep. It says on there, I put it in the MLS and the showing instructions. If you need anything about this property, if you cannot find it in the documents, you can reach this number. It's my assistant's number.
But you take your own clients' calls, or no?
No. What do they need me for?
Who knows?
Because I only work with sellers. So right now, let's say if it's a buyer, this is the part where I told you is like, I'm a buyer's agent. We work on the nights and weekends. Like, that's all I do is work on the nights and weekends. So you have to decide as an agent. You don't have to. Here's the thing. If I ever had to do it again, I was a solo agent and I had an assistant, I can maneuver my day better than I am. There is a way to say that you only do 2 afternoon, like, hey, I can only, work on this day or this day. And I will tell you another thing, like tonight, I showed this buyers yesterday. We didn't come up with anything. The one popped up this morning, and they want to see it at 5:30. So I was like, oh, I can do 5:30 tonight because I'll do it late because my daughter has practice. Not a big deal. However, there were no showings for that property today. The first one is tomorrow at 5:30. So I was like, sorry, Wednesdays are not my afternoon to show. I didn't tell my buyers that, but I went on my office and I said, hey, I'm paying $25 to show one house who wants it. And done deal. Those buyers have worked well enough for me. All I have, and like for so long, if that's a new buyer and they didn't know me, of course, I'm going to make that work. You have to until you build that relationship, right? Or not. Literally, it's your business. If you set that showing up to be professional and you say to them, hey, I'm already booked, and you're sitting your ass on your couch or eating dinner with your kids, you're already booked. They understand it's a buyer's market. A seller's market. You're busy. And that came up. You cannot jump. You just can't. Now you're going to need to have a phone call with them after the showing and go, hey, how did it go? But at least you can do that from your pajamas in your house, right? So you can pay $25 to have somebody do that if you want to. Absolutely. It's worth it to me. I don't care. I'm going to sit from my couch and schedule that property.
Hey, April, I have 2 quick questions. First, why Asana? And then second, how long did it take you to come up with all of your checklists, and were they all yours or did you get them from somewhere else?
So it all started with my first transaction coordinator that I had at the very beginning, and she was really good. And so I did have her checklist, but instantly knew that she wasn't even unless she was just doing things off her memory, she was still getting things done. But I never got to see maybe she had a bigger checklist than this that I didn't know about. But what I saw, it was just the basics, here's the 15 things I got to do. And so I knew, I was like, crap, I got to, my personality, I need to add to this. So literally, I just instantly knew that every time that something came up, a question that was being asked, that was actually part of my checklist and I should have already done it. So honestly, this took 10 years to do, 10 years. And there are some things now that I'm like, hey, we should have put that into our checklist even 10 years later, or rearrange things or move them back. We constantly, it's a living, breathing document and it's constantly changing.
Which version do you use? The free or the middle or?
For what? For Asana?
For Asana.
I don't know. Somebody else asked me that. It's definitely not on upgrade. I think I have the free one. If I do, it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum. Why Asana? Keller Williams has great things like Command and I. For any new agent that's coming in, they're all great. But for a team, any kind of thing, I haven't found one yet that works for a team. I just haven't. I've done a few things, but no. And real quick, I did one of those things that I don't know if you probably still can't see my screen, but I use Follow Up Boss, you guys, as my CRM, and all those emails that it says that need to go out, those emails are set in Follow Up Boss with the attachment. If it says, hey, your listing appointment, your pictures are on Friday at 6 p.m. Here's the 47th, or here's whatever the thing is. Here's how to get your house ready for pictures. And that attachment is already in there. We just go in there and it comes from an email that says, hey, and my assistant is CC'd on it. He just want to send this over to you. Get ready for listing pictures. That's it. That way. And then also I know they read it and they opened it. And if you don't want to pay for Follow Up Boss, you guys, Google does the same thing. You guys can sit there and put templates in your email from Google. It's the only thing you can't do is add an attachment.
Anybody have any questions?
April, do you also use Trello or just Asana?
I started with Trello and my brain did not function well with it. It didn't, I tried, but I love Asana. And maybe because Trello was too much of the board and too much visual stuff for me. And I know that you can change the settings and do all those things, but for whatever reason, I'm really a high A, type D person. And you got to instantly grab my attention. And I couldn't get in there with it. So I went straight to Asana.
Yeah, so I use Trello currently, but I kind of feel the same way. As far as looking at Trello as my pipeline, I really like the visual of that and being able to drag and drop people. But what I don't like is I like the checklist within there. I got it from the Hustle Humbly girls and I like it, but it's I don't use it. I don't think to click inside of there and mark the things off the checklist. I really like the look of Asana.
I did start also trying to with Trello use that as my database, because follow-up balls ain't cheap. Shit, it's $150. And so I was like, why? Let me try it. But again, what follow-up ball says and the systems that I've set up in there and the emails, like it's just too easy. It's like worth the $150 for me. So I didn't like how Trello, and I didn't use it very long, so I don't know if I didn't have it set up right or correctly, but I don't want my buyer's agents to be seeing which buyers that they're working with in case they're mad that someone got that person and didn't get this one or back, because it's my decision on who gets the next lead. So I did it, when I first started, I had 2 buyer's agents, and I didn't want that to be part of the conversation. I didn't want them to see each other's stuff. So, all right, guys, I've got to get to the hospital. I have an MRI today, my shoulder, if y'all know me. So I'm like, I got to get out of here. I don't even know where I'm going yet, which location it is. So thanks for having me. I hope that helped you. Like, whether it's, hey, I'm solo and I can do this shit. Guys, with a good TC and a good assistant, you can be a solo agent and sell 100 houses a year. I promise you. Pay them well, but you got to have your systems and models. And everybody's like, well, hire somebody. I'm not mentally capable right now to put in the time. Do not wing that shit. Do not hire somebody and throw somebody in the seat or throw mud on the wall because you're busy. Wait until you can get your systems in place. Now, don't wait too long, because I go back and forth. You got to jump in and get that shit done. But you better be ready mentally to invest in them, because this is your ride or die. Like the next person I had, it's a marriage. It's a freaking marriage. Like when they left, it's a divorce. Like I would almost like, it's painful. And so I'm not, I treat it just like dating. If I'm not intentional about dating you and building you and treating you like what I need you to do for me, then I can't commit to you. So be ready for that person, be all in about it, and make sure you have the time to give them what they need. All right, guys, I got to balance.
Thank you, April.
All right, bye guys. Thank y'all.
Well, what'd you guys think? That April's definitely goes a mile a minute, and she has a great business, and hopefully you guys learned a couple pointers today from April.
Yeah, she does a huge business. She went from having she had several assistants or buyer's agents, and then kind of revamped her whole plan and her model. And now it's, she's scrambling, but she's still doing it. So I'm going to check into Asana, because I really like that whole checklist that she had there. So anyway, well, everyone, thank you so much. I have to hop off too. I got to get my son to camp. So I hope everybody has an awesome Tuesday, and we will see you back here next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.